Today's lesson is called Nature's Smartest Animals, Day 1. Hi everyone, my name is Jeff.
And I'm Roger, and hey, I'm a human being and I'm pretty smart. And Jeff here is a human being as well. He's pretty smart too. But, you know, we shouldn't make the mistake of thinking that human beings are the only smart creatures that live on the face of the earth. There are other smart animals that are sharing the world with us. That's why today we're talking about nature's smartest animals.
There you go. Now, human beings are usually not a part of this discussion. Usually when people talk about smart animals, it's kind of taken for granted that humans are a lot smarter than most animals. In fact, we're the smartest animal, and it's not even close. But yes, some animals are surprisingly intelligent. Yeah, not all animals are dumb beasts, and we're going to learn that, there are some smart animals out there capable of doing things that we wouldn't usually associate with animals or dumb beasts, whatever you want to call them. Yes, today and the day after that, we're going to be talking about nature's smartest animals, though we're not going to talk about human beings, which are actually nature's smartest animals by far and away. Anyways, folks, with that, it's time for us to take a short break, but don't go away. When we come back, we'll get started on our lesson.
Nature's smartest animals. Humans like to think of themselves as the smartest animals on Earth. While this may be true, there are many other creatures that demonstrate considerable intelligence. Let's have a look at some of nature's cleverest animals.
大家好，今天第一个单字我们看到的是 intelligence， 这个字当作名词，代表智力、智慧的意思。例如 I admire my mother's intelligence and my father's kind heart. 我钦佩我妈妈的才智和我爸爸仁慈的心肠。
Okay, so today we're talking about nature's smartest animals, the most intelligent animals in the world. And the first sentence says, humans, you know, people like us, humans like to think of themselves as the smartest animals on Earth. Yes, indeed, we think we're pretty smart cookies. We don't think that there are other animals out there who can top us, although that might be questionable a little bit. I think it's, it's not the whales or monkeys or apes or anything that are dumping a bunch of plastic into the oceans or polluting the atmosphere or creating millions of tons of nuclear waste every year. Animals aren't really doing that, but still, we kind of think of ourselves as the smartest animals on the face of the earth. And while this may be true, there are many other creatures that demonstrate considerable intelligence. So yes, it might be true that humans are the smartest animals on this planet, but there are other creatures that also show us or demonstrate or exhibit considerable intelligence. Now here, intelligence just refers to when you are able to acquire knowledge and you retain that knowledge. You have intelligence, you can get information, and then you can apply it, and you can learn things, and you can apply it to other things as well.
Yeah, intelligence is the noun. Intelligent is the adjective, okay? You can have an intelligent person, or you can say that this person has intelligence. And yeah, intelligence very simply is just smarts or cleverness. It's the state of being smart or intelligent. Now, intelligence, like Roger said before, there's a little bit more to it than being simply clever or smart. Yeah, intelligence, more specifically, is the ability to gain knowledge or to gain understanding of something. Yeah, usually intelligence is also the ability to then apply this knowledge or understanding to the world in order to solve problems. And yes, human beings have been very, very good when it comes to solving problems as far as the Earth is concerned. That being said, like Roger said before, we've also created a whole lot of problems that we haven't yet solved, but that's not what we're going to be talking about today. So let's stop talking about human beings, okay? We're smart. We can also screw things up really easily too, but hey, let's focus on the animals. Let's have a look at some of nature's cleverest animals.
More than just memory. There's a saying in English that elephants never forget, and it's true that they have amazing memories. These giant mammals have been known to recognize old friends they haven't seen in many years. However, elephants are capable of much more than just remembering. Some can even distinguish between different human languages. This discovery was made during an experiment where elephants became nervous around African hunters who spoke a certain language. The speakers of this language were known to kill elephants. Around speakers of another language who had no history of killing elephants, the animals remained calm.
第二部分我们看到的单字是 mammal， 这个字当作名词，它有哺乳动物的意思。所以我们可以说 The largest mammal in the world is the blue whale. 蓝鲸是世界上最大的哺乳动物。再来我们看到的单字是 distinguish， 这个字当作动词，代表辨认、区别的意思。例如 Claire showed me how to distinguish ripe melons from unripe ones. Claire 教我怎么分辨成熟和未成熟的甜瓜。
Okay, everybody, let's take a look at the second part of our lesson. Now, it's entitled More Than Just Memory. There's more to an elephant than its memory, but in any case here, there's a saying in English that elephants never forget. And it's true that they have amazing memories. So yes, indeed, we do talk about elephants' memories, or elephants never forget, because I guess in scientific experiments in the past, or when people observe elephants in the wild or in zoos, they can tell that, hey, these elephants seem to remember stuff. They don't forget like those other dumb bunnies.
Yeah, and apparently this isn't a myth. Elephants never forget. They have fantastic memories. Yeah, get this. These giant mammals have been known to recognize old friends they haven't seen in many years, which is pretty cool. They might not have seen another elephant for 20 years, and then all of a sudden, this other elephant appears, and they just fall into one another's arms and they're best friends once again. Although, I don't think elephants can actually embrace or fall into one another's arms, but one way or another, they recognize one another, even though, let's say, they haven't seen each other for decades. How about that? Now, before we move on, let's go ahead and talk about this word mammal. A mammal is a type of animal. Yeah, a mammal is an animal that gives birth to live babies. It's an animal that doesn't lay eggs. And it's usually an animal that feeds its young or its babies with milk. And then one other thing too, mammals usually have hair or fur.
Very good. And human beings, of course, are mammals, and elephants are mammals as well. So these giant mammals have been known, or they've been observed, to recognize old friends they haven't seen in many years. Hey! Long time no see. How have you been? I saw you at the Singapore Zoo about 20 years ago. I haven't seen you since then. Where have you been? Of course, they probably can't exchange information like that. Maybe they kind of whack their trunks together or something like that, and that tells zookeepers that these guys must know each other. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing that. So yes, indeed, they can recognize their old friends that they haven't seen in a long time. However, elephants are capable of much more than just remembering. Hence the title of this section, More Than Just Memory. There's more to an elephant than its memory. It goes on to say here, some can even distinguish between different human languages. So here, distinguish is a verb. That just basically means to tell the difference between something.
There you go. To distinguish something, in this case, is to tell two or more things apart, or to tell the difference between things. That's pretty much all there is to it. But yeah, this word distinguish is very often used in another way. Sometimes people talk about distinguishing themselves. Yeah, often if you distinguish yourself, you set yourself apart from others for good reasons, i.e. due to your achievements, your accomplishments, so on, so forth. But yeah, the word distinguish is not being used this way in this article, though the word is commonly used in this phrase, i.e. to distinguish yourself in some way. Anyways, one way or another, some elephants can tell one human language from another. Yeah, they can distinguish between different human languages, And that's pretty amazing, okay? It's one thing to have a great memory, okay? That's a surprising fact, but I didn't think that elephants could tell one human language from another. That's actually really impressive.
Yes, they were observing the elephants, and it said this discovery was made during an experiment where elephants became nervous around African hunters who spoke a certain language. Okay, so these were hunters in Africa, and they spoke a certain kind of language that I guess the elephants recognized because the elephants became nervous, and for good reason. It says the speakers of this language were known to kill elephants. Around speakers of another language who had no history of killing elephants, the animals remained calm. So they observed those things. They put the elephants close to a group of people who were known to kill elephants or who had a history of killing elephants. So the elephants were nervous. Wow, when we hear that language, it usually means bad news. It usually means one of us is going to get killed. But then they were hanging around some other people who were speaking a different language, and they were relaxed, they were calm, they were not nervous because I guess this other group of people had no history of killing elephants. They just simply did not kill elephants. They were friends with the elephants.
Yeah, the language of the hunters means danger, so the elephants were scared. The other language that these other people were speaking, well, these elephants had never heard it before, and they didn't associate it with death and murder and hunting and being preyed upon, so they remained calm. How amazing. This is really, really impressive stuff. All right, folks, with that, it's time for us to take a break. But, guys, get ready to have your socks knocked off by some super smart animals. We'll talk about them right after this.
Our clever cousins. It should come as no surprise that apes rank highly on the intelligence scale. After humans, our fellow primates are considered the smartest animals. Chimpanzees and bonobos, our closest relatives, are both capable of using sign language. One captive bonobo even uses a board filled with lexigram symbols to communicate with humans. Chimps, meanwhile, are able to remember the sign language gestures that identify an individual they haven't seen in years, and are also capable of constructing basic sentences with symbols.
第三部分我们看到的单字是 chimpanzee。这个字当作名词，它有黑猩猩的意思。例如，那个小孩在动物园里看到一只黑猩猩吃了一颗橘子。英文可以这么说 ：The child watched a chimpanzee eat an orange at the zoo。再来，我们看到的单字是 relative。这个字当作名词，代表亲缘动物、植物、语言或是亲戚、亲属的意思。所以我们可以说 ：This flower is a relative of daisies。这种花是雏菊的亲缘植物。接下来我们看到的单字是 identify， 这个字当作动词，它有认出、识别或是确认的意思。例如，警察在观察名单上认出几名潜在的恐怖分子。英文可以这么说 Police identified several potential terrorists on a watch list。今天最后一个单字我们看到的是 construct， 这个字当作动词，它有构成、组成或是建造的意思。所以我们可以说The mayor decided to construct a bridge to the island. 市长决定要打造一座通往那个岛的桥。
Okay, everybody, the last portion of our article today is talking about our clever cousins. Your cousins are usually people who are more or less the same age of you, and they are, they are the children of your parents, brothers, or sisters. Those would be your cousins, okay? In Chinese, it gets kind of complicated to describe cousins, but in English, anybody who was born of the siblings of your parents, or maybe somebody who got married again or something like that, are simply referred to as your cousins, both male and female.
Now, for the purposes of our article, okay, our cousins, they're not chimpanzees or bonobos or anything like that. But as far as humans are concerned, your cousins are people at around your same age that you share grandparents with. You guys all have the same grandparents or a common relative, a common ancestor. Now, as far as chimpanzees and bonobos and humans are concerned, we too have a common ancestor. But we're not talking about grandparents in this case. We have a common ancestor from millions and millions of years ago that might no longer exist as a species. Yeah, that entire species might no longer exist. But if you go back far enough in time and you trace the DNA sequences and stuff like that, yeah, it turns out that chimpanzees, bonobo monkeys, and us, we all have a common ancestor. So in that way, we are kind of cousins, though not in a literal sense. Anyways, it should come as no surprise that apes rank highly on the intelligence scale, i.e., that is, we should expect this. This shouldn't surprise us at all. Yeah, apes are like us, so they're going to be smart. They're going to rank highly on the intelligence scale.
Exactly. So to come as no surprise means it's not surprising at all. It's something that would not surprise us when we find out that apes are very intelligent. They rank highly on the scale of intelligence. And after humans, our fellow primates are considered the smartest animals. So primates, of course, are creatures that are similar to human beings. I think the definition is that they have hair and they have hands and feet that look like hands and they have eyes in the fronts of their heads. And so that would include monkeys, apes, and other different kinds of creatures, including humans. So yes, indeed, after humans, our fellow primates, which are the monkeys and the apes, they are considered the smartest animals in the world.
Yeah, chimpanzees and bonobos, our closest relatives, our article continues, are both capable of using sign language. Yeah, speech is impossible for these animals. I think there's something anatomically different between humans and these other primates that makes speaking a language like we do impossible, okay? But they can still communicate using sign language. Yeah, human beings can actually teach chimpanzees and bonobos to communicate using sign language. So, in a sense, you could have a conversation with a monkey. Now, here we've got a few things to talk about. First of all, we've got this word chimpanzee. What's a chimpanzee? It's a smart ape. And yeah, earlier I misspoke. Yeah, chimpanzees and bonobos, they're apes. They're not monkeys, okay? Very simply, though, yeah, chimpanzees are smart apes. A chimpanzee is a smart ape capable of making and using basic tools. And then we also have this word relative. Yeah, chimpanzees and bonobos are our closest relatives in the animal kingdom. Yeah, they're not actually our blood relatives or anything like that, but in a sense, like I talked about before, they are our cousins, or they're kind of in our family in a very loose sense, as long as you go really, really far back in time to find the common ancestor that we share. Anyways, here, relatives are members of the species that are related to us in that we have a common ancestor, like I said before. Yeah, we don't share a bloodline with them or anything like that. We are in the same family in a very loose sense in that we do have a common ancestor as long as you go far, really, really far back in time.
Right, and so here relatives is referring to creatures that are related to us through evolution or in zoology. But your real relatives in real life would be your cousins, your uncles, your aunts, your grandparents, and stuff like that. Those would be your relatives. But here we're talking about evolution, and we're talking about zoology and stuff like that. So they're capable of using sign language, and one captive bonobo even uses a board filled with lexigram symbols to communicate with humans. So this is a captive bonobo. It's not in the wild. It's captive. It probably lives in a zoo or something like that, or in a laboratory or whatever. And it communicates to the humans not by using sign language so much, but by using these lexigram symbols. Now, lexigram here, that's not a word that's used very common, and I did have to look it up before today's program, but it basically is a symbol that represents a word.
Yeah. A lexigram is a symbol that represents a word. And yeah, usually lexicograms are used to help people or maybe animals learn a language. But here, yeah, this bonobo can actually use the lexicograms to tell us how it's feeling or what's on its mind, to communicate with us, so on and so forth. And that's pretty super cool. Now, more on this bonobo. Yes, it is a captive bonobo. Yeah, captive, by the way. The word captive is the adjective. The noun is captivity. Yeah, captivity is the state of being held captive. And yeah, if a person or a thing is held captive, they are imprisoned. They're confined to a single place, like a zoo or a jail cell or something like that, and they can't leave that place. Anyways, that's enough for bonobos. Let's move on to chimpanzees or chimps. Chimps, meanwhile, our article continues, are able to remember the sign language gestures that identify an individual they haven't seen in years and are also capable of constructing basic sentences with symbols. So I'm not exactly sure who's smarter, bonobos or chimpanzees, but boy, am I impressed. Bonobos and chimps both can do amazing things. They're super smart. Now, before we take a break, we've got 2 vocabulary words to talk about. The first of these is the verb identify. Here, to identify something is to figure out what something is or who someone is.
Right, so I guess chimpanzees can distinguish between different individuals because they have their own unique signs or they sign in a certain way. So chimps can tell that. They can identify individuals just like we can identify people by looking at their faces or hearing the sound of their voice. We can tell who is who. And they can do this with people or with chimps that they haven't seen in many years. And they can also put together, construct, or build basic sentences with symbols, maybe with simple grammar like subject, verb, object, things like that.
There you go. Okay, folks, with that, it's time for us to take a break, but don't go away. The Chinese teacher is on the way.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。课文第一句提到 Humans like to think of themselves as the smartest animals on earth. 人类喜欢认为自己是地球上最聪明的动物，人类是最伟大的。好，不管怎么样，句子里面用到 think of A as B 的句型，表示将 A 视为 B， 认为 A 是 B。 那这边要帮同学们补充其他可以表达相同语义的用法。除了 think of A as B， 我们还可以用 see A as B，View A as B, regard A as B, take A as B, 或者是 look upon A as B 等等。那在这些用法当中 as 的后方你可以接名词或者形容词。举例来说 She regards Sam as a friend. 她把 Sam 当作她的朋友。好，那还有一个用法是 consider A to be B， 也就是 consider 某人或某事物加上 to be 再搭配名词或形容词。那这样的句型中的 to be 是可以省略不用的。例如 He considers himself a lucky man. 他认为自己是个幸运的人。好，那我们其实课文里面也有用到 consider 这个动词，那它是被动的用法。我们读到课文第3部分的第2句 After humans, Our fellow primates are considered the smartest animals. 仅次于人类，我们的灵长类同伴被视为最聪明的动物。好，那它这里是被动句型 Consider A to be B 的被动句型就是某人或某事物加上 be considered to be 再加上名词或形容词。那同样的 to be 是可以省略不用的。我们也可以把它用其他方法来改成被动句型，像是某人或某事物be seen as, be viewed as, be regarded as, be thought of as 等等，再搭配名词或形容词。像是 Alan is seen as one of the best players on his team. Alan 被认为是队上最棒的球员之一。好，接着我们来看课文第3部分的第1句。It should come as no surprise that apes rank highly on the intelligence scale.猿类在智力量表上名列前茅，应该不是太令人惊讶的事。好，这边要介绍的是 come as no surprise， 它表示不令人惊讶，意料之中。好，相反的 come as a surprise 则是表达令人惊讶，叫人跌破眼镜的。好，那么 come as 是用来描述某个人第一次听到某事物啊，第一次得知某事情的反应。那后面常常会接 surprise 或者是 relief，表示宽慰嘛，或者是接 blow 表示打击或是不幸等等的名词。举例来说 The news came as a blow to her. 那个消息对她来说是个打击。好，顺便再补充一个常见的句型是 It comes as no surprise 加上 that 子句。那这个句型就跟 It's no surprise 加上 that 子句是差不多的。举例来说 Dana sings as well as a professional singer.So it comes as no surprise that she won the singing competition. Dana 她唱歌唱得跟专业歌手一样好，因此她赢得这个歌唱比赛并不令人意外。好，那以上是今天的重点整理，接着我们回顾今天的单字吧。
Intelligence. The girl took an IQ test and was found to have superior intelligence. Mammal. Many animals are considered mammals, including foxes, bears, and rabbits. Distinguish. I was able to easily distinguish the musical notes that the teacher played. Chimpanzee. The children particularly enjoyed seeing the chimpanzees at the zoo. Relative. This may be surprising, but seals and polar bears are close relatives. Identify. The lost dog had a tag that identified him as belonging to the nearby shelter. Construct. The workers constructed a bridge that would connect the two islands.
Okay, everyone. With that, today's article is now complete. But, as always, we sure hope that you guys have enjoyed reading along with us. Anyways, I'm Jeff.
I am Roger.
See you next time.